No More Heroes 3 is finally coming to PlayStation, and it holds no punches, throwing you immediately into an old-school arcade scene where you fight aliens with a beam sword. Then, a cutscene shows a child discovering a little alien and helping return it to its home planet. Decades later, the aliens return to the kid's planet, and whilst the two are still friends, the alien plans to destroy the rest of the planet. This unique setup allows Grasshopper Manufacture to focus the game around an assassin ranking system like its predecessors, but this time, the leaderboard is galaxy-wide. The combat system in this game is a massive win, only making improvements to the system in previous games. Between the Gundam-style mech suit attacks, the laser sword slashing, and the gooey confetti-like blood splurting out from your enemies, the fights could not be more satisfying. When fighting an enemy, you're tasked with bringing their HP low enough to execute them with your insta-kill attack. When this happens, a quick slot machine spins with the ability to give you power-ups, a mech suit attack, or even in-game currency. This game throws fewer enemies at you, but each one is much beefier and takes a lot longer to defeat. The insta-kill finisher no longer feels like a chore that slows you down. Instead, it's a satisfying and fun feature that makes things far more interesting. As your laser sword charge decreases, you'll eventually have to charge it back up. You have to shake the sword up and down on the Nintendo Switch version to charge it. It'll be interesting to see if the PlayStation controls will also force you to shake your controller to charge the sword, or if they'll let you rotate the joysticks, for instance. If your sword charge gets too low, you may die. In that case, the wheel will be spun, and if you're lucky, you might get a damage multiplier for your next life, get a free life, or come right back immediately, or get nothing. Easily the worst part of the game is what happens between the combat areas. Between ranked fights for a leaderboard spot that is, you'll have to qualify for the next fight and come up with enough in-game currency to pay for entry. This unfortunately means you have to hop on a weird bike and drive to markers on the map. Imagine Grand Theft Auto, but the world is really barren. There isn't much to do in the world, no buildings to go in, no fighting. It's not even possible to fight there, and there's no story events. The only things you can really find here are markers for the qualifier fights and sushi stands. The qualifier markers are simply places where you are beamed up into a spaceship to fight, seemingly defeating the purpose of the location you just drove to. Every fight in the game is either aboard a spaceship, in space, or on another planet altogether. This may sound cool, but it does make the other world pretty pointless. Some weird aliens are standing around from which you can buy a shirt, and you can play mini-games like mowing grass for money or picking up trash in the sea, but there is nothing else to interact with within the other world. Even the cars you see driving around just disappear if you touch them. If the open world aspect of the game and the developers focused on the storytelling and the gameplay, the entire other world might not feel so rushed. If the game structure was more like the second title in the series, it would give a much more polished and complete feel. One can only hope that they fix some of the issues in the PlayStation version, but that would be a lot to expect for a simple port. The combat and storytelling are incredible if you're willing to sit through the mundane, otherworld driving sections of the game. Like a television show with a sequential story, you'll be more than a little lost if you pick up this game without having played the first two. However, if you have played the other games, there's a very good chance that you will love this game. It appears to be a game created to fans of the series. However, it does do an outstanding job of this, and hopefully the PlayStation version only improves this experience. We only have to wait a few more days to see No More Heroes 3 coming to the PlayStation, but of course, if that's too long for you to wait, then why not watch one of our other videos here at 128KB, and we will see you next time.